Greetings, foolish mortals, and welcome to the tower. I am the VO Wizard, and today I'm gonna teach you how to talk like Captain Jack Sparrow, mate. Savvy? Now, I know a lot of people are big into the Jack Sparrow thing. I love pirates myself. I have loved the movies since they came out. I even have a top 10 pirates list on this channel. Actually, go check it out if you like. So I figure, if I'm doing these tutorial videos anyways, and you guys love them, why not go with the most quintessential pirate in the modern day? Now, if you're looking to talk like Captain Jack Sparrow, and I know you are, you gotta start with step one, which is, as always, get into character. Acquire the character, and get him into your brain. Start watching video clips, start watching interviews with Johnny Depp, start watching anything that influences what might be the Captain Jack Sparrow persona.
And I went, "Oi!" What are you looking at? And then, nothing.
Something that I've been recommending when trying to get into character and doing a voice, and I've been liking this idea more and more, is to go watch other impersonators. Not to take their impersonation, but to kind of get the exaggerations that come out from it and pay attention to those, because those are important for the voice. Seeing those other exaggerations from somebody else will definitely help you hone in on what you should be focusing on, what you might exaggerate, and then how much is too much. That's an important one. When to stop.
I need to commandeer a ship and sail to Tortuga. What say you to that, mate?
We've got Jack. Captain Jack ordering from Jack in the box. Isn't that fun, mate?
As far as a character build goes, what you should be looking to build as far as a character or persona is to watch him in his interviews in the movies and then see that he's a drunk, kind of carousing character, very eccentric, but also kind of secretly genius, like he's waiting for something to happen that he knows is going to happen, whether it happens or not, but something very calculating about his character. Play these right, the drunk, the eccentric, the secret genius, they'll do a lot of the voice for you. After you feel you have sufficiently captured the character for yourself, start thinking about physicalities. What does he look like? What does he do? What does his face do? What does his body do when he's talking? As far as physicalities go, Jack Sparrow is probably one of the more animated characters that we will ever do. Watching even a minute of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow should have you well on your way to understanding how he moves. The walk, or his gait, is probably the most noticeable thing about his bigger movements, the gross motor skills, and it's pretty signature. It's sort of like a guy got drunk and decided to do a runway catwalk after seeing somebody do it one time, and then just trying to keep his balance through all of it.
Very kind of you. But it would seem that as I possess a ship and you don't, you're the ones in need of rescuing.
Arms out, legs crisscross, sway as you go, and just stay swishy. While talking, there will also definitely be neck and shoulder swivelings and arm flourishes. It's not always a thing, but it's pretty much always a thing.
I love those moments. I like to wave at them as they pass by.
For facial components, there are a lot, and you'll pick them up the more that you watch the movie clips. Actually, a good idea is to watch clips or watch the interviews, watch the characters saying something, and mimic it back right at them, or try to talk right as soon as they're talking. There are a lot of head swivels, there are a lot of forward gestures, there's a lot of eyebrow work, there's a lot of involuntary winkage. Think of Christopher Walken. The last lesson we had on Walken actually shares a lot of physicalities with Captain Jack Sparrow.
Unless, of course, he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if he told it to you.
Forward motions, eye squints, eyebrow work, winking. A lot of Walken stuff in there. There are a whole lot of things that come together and a lot to think about. But the less you think about them and the more they come together, the more they're really going to bring that character out. Let me break this down just for a second. Without the physicalities, the facial components, and the entire body work that he does, all you have is the voice, and it makes it so hard to get that voice out of it without the rest of it. You can do it, but it would come out weird. It wouldn't even look right. Like, "Commodore Norrington, my effects please. And my hat." It was even hard to do just there. I think my eyebrows still started to shift and do work. Like, they want to, as you're doing Captain Sparrow voice. What's after physicalities? But pacing, and pacing is actually an interesting one in this case. Jack Sparrow's pacing is actually fairly conversational for such an eccentric dude, aside from the occasional flair or dramatic pause. There's more to think about in this voice, more complexities to think about than just the pacing. The pacing actually sort of takes a back seat in this voice. So as long as you stay in character, you maintain that drunk, that carousing, all of that kind of stuff inside of the voice, it will sort of inform your pacing for you. Disappointingly short chapter on pacing, I know, but you know what that means. It's the voice. Now I know a lot of people just say, do Keith Richards and you got Jack Sparrow. Two problems with that. One, it's not really a one-to-one impression. It was more like a playful send-up from Johnny Depp to Keith Richards. It's not like oh, Keith Richards talks exactly like this. I was part of the Rolling Stones, mate. It's just kind of some stuff that he took from him. So I wouldn't recommend taking just a Keith Richards impersonation and plopping it on and saying, that's my Jack Sparrow.
I kind of took that inspiration of Keith, you know, and it wasn't like a character study or an imitation or anything like that, but just a more like, you know, a memory of how he is, the way he behaves.
Number 2, I'm not sure how many of us just have a Keith Richards impersonation sitting in our back pocket, especially before Johnny Depp came and did Captain Jack Sparrow. Sort of a chicken and the egg puzzle. So instead, we're going to do this step by step. Step A, we'll call it. Without doing the voice, just slur your speech. Just get drunk. Just get nice and loosey-goosey with it. Can't just do that. Make it do your best impression of your creepy uncle asking for the remote control on Thanksgiving. Hey, let me get the remote control.
The rum!
Yes, the rum is gone.
Why is the rum gone?
Go from there. You don't always need coherency. You don't need every single word to come through. Just authenticity. Make sure you're getting that drunk going on so that you can lead it into Captain Jack Sparrow. If you start losing little bits of a sentence, more's the better, mate.
Welcome to the Caribbean, lad. Captain Jack Sparrow.
When you're doing the drunk, one of the important things in that is to get really breathy. Breathy is what's going to help you get to Captain Jack Sparrow. He's very breathy. Act like you're trying to concentrate, but if you feel yourself going overboard, reel it in a little bit. Make it believable. Not too over the top, just drunk, not hammered. Step B. You're going to need an accent, and that accent is going to have to be British. It may not be the best British accent, it may not be the most accurate British accent, but Johnny Depp went for a British accent with Jack, and that's what comes out. He is definitely British. Hopefully, if you're taking this, you have some kind of British or faux British in the first place. If you don't, some quick and dirty rules I like to use are just drop the R's. Imagine Boston, imagine Australia, imagine England, just dropping the R's. Ah.
It's a key.
No. Much more better.
And then sort of imagine little soft E's on the end of every vowel. A for in mate, I for in tonight, O for Patagonia.
Son, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy?
Keep studying British voices until you get the swing of it, and keep studying Jack. But this isn't the class for that, so let's push on. This step is a pirate's first love, the sea. Step C is air placement. Where are you making this voice? I think this is one of the first voices that I'm teaching that we're actually going to use both fairly fluidly, but I'm going to say it's 95% down here. If you're coming off of that drunk lesson like we were doing before, doing the breathy, all the breathy that comes from down here, as you're making that sound, if it sounds anything like this, even without the British, if it sounds like this, it's coming from here. There's no way that you can I can't even try to do it wrong. All of that grumbly, low down, gravelly sound is coming from right here, mate.
Why should I sail with any of you?
It's also a held sound. You're not pushing too much of it forward. You're making it from right here, and you're also keeping it kind of like a secret in the back of your mouth. Airflow isn't necessarily pinched like walking, but it is reserved. So you're putting a little bit of squeezing on that one, just a little bit to get it out of there, but you're also letting quite a bit of air through. You'll feel a lot of it come through. Ugh. A lot of that growl sound, just make ugh. Oh, keep it breathy, not too growly. Breathy, but let all of that air out, mate. All of that. That's where the drunk comes in. All of that air. Step D, sound extensions. Jack definitely makes use of elongating his sounds, and you've heard it quite a bit already in my examples. So you can use it in a lot of your dialogue. It happens very frequently. But, like walking, there's definitely a rhythm to it.
But you have heard of me.
And just like walking, there is a wrong way. Mate, I have a contract for you. I got home even though they marooned me, mate. That overextension of all of your vowels is more like Barbossa than it is Jack. Not you, we named the monkey Jack. So be mindful to put enough of that extension in like he does, but also be careful to put it in the right place.
What are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm gonna say the most important sound is this tricky little H sound that he makes in some of his sounds, in some of his words. And I only say it's the most important sound because seemingly, for authenticity's sake, it sort of makes the voice. Like, without it, it sounds wrong. I've been trying to do step by step in this video, and I find myself not able to do the voice now without that tricky little sound, that little... It's like a hiss, almost. For the best example, look at T in mate, where this happens the most frequently with him. You marooned me, mate. Do you see how that T almost makes an S, but it also kind of makes a soft H? Say it with me a couple times. Mate, 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 mate. Keep saying mate until you get it, because you're going to keep putting that weird little H breath sound after a lot of his consonants.
Paris. That was it.
If you're acquiring the character and getting this organically like we're teaching, you're going to start putting it in places not knowing you have because he does. Just focus on it being a little release of air, a little whistle that comes from around your tongue whenever you're making that sound. You'll get it with repetition, I promise you. You will even find it on D's. You'll find it in the middle of sentences. Oh, what a fair maiden. That D in maiden gets hit too, and I think partially just because of the drunk. The slur in the speech is kind of what forms that. Practice that, get it down, and you're laughing. The next step is the latch phrase. The latch phrase can be anything you like to get you in the spirit. I like to throw a mate in mine, something with a mate in there just to remind me of the sounds going forward. The more sounds that you incorporate into the latch phrase, the better your brain will remember the voice and fill in the rest.
It's my intention to commandeer one of these ships, pick up a crew in Tortuga, raid, pillage, plunder, and otherwise pilfer my Weasley blackguards out.
My latch phrase of choice is, you better calm yourself down, mate. Once you get a latch phrase you're happy with, say it over and over again. As you're practicing, get it in the mirror, latch phrase yourself, you better calm yourself down, mate. You better calm yourself down, mate. Dude, line after line, do it in different takes. The more you get comfy with that latch phrase, the more you say it, the more you get it in your brain, the more you get used to saying it, the better you can silently put it in front of your sentences if you need to switch into Jack Sparrow on the fly, real quick. But make a habit of that. Say it silently at first, and then roll into your sentence. You better calm yourself down, mate. Ah yes, Paul William, I haven't seen you in nigh on 20 years now. Last step as always, and it's the most important one, practice, practice, practice. Nobody ever got anywhere not practicing, so put in your 10,000 hours and come out the other side with a shiny Jack Sparrow impersonation. See you back in the tower. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. Now, if you enjoyed this tutorial, and I know you did, feel free to like, comment, and otherwise share with all of your other Weasley black-hearted no-goodnicks. Please do also subscribe to the channel, and when it comes down to it, dang that notification bell to let you know when other stuff comes out. It's exceptionally important to me, to the tower, keeping the candles on around here. It helps way more than you think. Keep your eyes peeled to the port side to find video tutorials just like this one, and keep them glued to the starboard side for other random videos. And remember, if you'd like to see some cheap tricks, mate, you can go watch anyone. But if you want to see some real magic, you have to come watch The Wizard. Savvy.